On the news tonight, President Bola Tinubu describes women as bedrock of the nation to mark this year's International Women's Day. FG pushes for improved girl-child education to break poverty cycle. Plus, President Tinubu rejects census budgets proposing measures to cut costs. While on the foreign scene, DR Congo suffers severe outbreak of monkeypox to vaccinate hundreds of thousands of people. Good evening, and we're glad to have you join us on the Major Reports. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola. President Bola Tinubu has celebrated the resilience, brilliance, and indispensable contributions of Nigerian women in a personal message to mark the 2025 International Women's Day. The president described Nigerian women as the bedrock of the nation, driving progress from homes to farms, boardrooms, and communities. He said yet 30 years after the Beijing Declaration, too many women still face barriers that limited their potentials. President Tinubu said that his administration is committed in its renewed hope pledge to dismantle obstacles, expand access to finance, and ensure equitable opportunities in governance, agriculture, and other sectors as that strength fuels Nigeria's future. Meanwhile, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, the Nigerian government, and other critical stakeholders have launched a mobilization campaign towards achieving the target of 12 million young women in agriculture in Nigeria. Speaking at the flag-off ceremony in commemoration of the 2025 United Nations International Women's Day in Abuja, UNESCO Ref President and National Coordinator, Young Women in Agriculture, Prince Abdulsalami Ladigolu, underscored the place of women and young girls as well as the pivotal role of agriculture in the attainment of sustainable economic growth for the country. Prince Ladigolu explained that the project aims to ensure the mobilization of 12 million Nigerian women, 2 million from each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the Federation, to contribute to food and nutrition security, mitigating national security threats through a non-kinetic approach, and promote economic growth through agribusiness. He lamented that the economy of Nigeria majorly depends on the oil and gas sector, and that one of the damaging impacts has been the long, steady decline of the country's agricultural sector. According to him, Nigeria has continued to rely on food imports and record outrageous increases in food prices, with worsening food and nutrition insecurity. Ladigolu, however, highlighted the significant efforts of the current administration of President Bola Tinubu through the declaration of a state of emergency in food security in 2023 as a way of mobilizing multi-stakeholder attention to the challenges. As the world celebrates International Women's Day, Amnesty International has called for stricter implementation of laws against sexual violence in Nigeria. Speaking during the awareness walk in Osogbo, the state capital of Osun State, the state coordinator of Amnesty International Nigeria Supporters Group, Joshua Oyibode, said that although Nigeria has extant legislation to punish sexual violence, the laws are not fully implemented. According to Oyibode, the group is trying to create awareness about the social menace, citing a report by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime that 140 women and girls are killed daily globally, and in Nigeria, about 149 women are killed last year due to femicide. He urged government at all levels and policymakers to look inwards to the existing laws and ensure they are more effective in implementation in tackling the menace of the femicide for the betterment of the society. In the same development, the Minister of Education, Dr. Tuji Alausa, has advocated for more education for the girl child, saying the more the girl child is educated, the more the cycle of poverty is broken in Nigeria. Dr. Alausa stated this while inaugurating the implementation committees of Lumina 2030 and Quality Education and Learning Outcomes initiatives, noting that the initiative, the broader Quality Education and Learning Outcomes program, are all targeted towards addressing out-of-school children. He said the initiative is a reaffirmation of the collective resolve to create an inclusive, equitable, and high-quality education system that leaves no child behind, steps in transforming the educational landscape of the country. The minister listed the committees to be inaugurated under the Quality Education and Learning Outcome to include the National Monitoring of Learning Achievement Committee, the School Grading Committee, Monitoring and Evaluation Committee, Teacher Capacity Building Committee, Communities of Practice Committee, and the Teacher Capacity Building Training Manual and National Framework Committee. Dr. Lausa charged the members of the committees to approach the assignment with utmost dedication, professionalism, and a sense of purpose. In the meantime, government at all levels have been asked to be more inclusive by involving women in day-to-day decision-making of the governance. Chairperson, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, NAWOJ, Osun State Chapter, Mrs. Bisola Ariwodola, and the Osun State Chairperson, Nigeria Professional Association of Women Accountants, Mrs. Fatima Ishola Oladele, stated this while speaking with Osbc News on this year's International Women's Day. Both women pointed out that government should, as a matter of urgency, give more position to women as their roles in the society cannot be overemphasized.
Where we are supposed to spread love to our fellow women, we support ourselves, and to charge us that for the task ahead, we should be ready for access to equal rights, access to equal opportunity, access to empowerment, access to quality health care, and every other things that we need to survive in this present time. So this is a day that we make clarion calls that we are not forgotten, and it's also a day where we remind all stakeholders, particularly the government, on inclusion, that when we are saying that we are celebrating women, we should know that it is important to include women in all activities, especially in governance, that we say yes to women, yes to support of women, yes to education, yes to equal rights, yes to prevention of violence against women.
Women are very, very important in society, starting from home. When the home is good, society will be good, society will be better. The role of women cannot be overemphasized in society. In nation building, women are very, very important. And today, in this year's celebration that we are talking about, inclusive, we want our government to include women in decision making, to ensure we have, because women know how to manage resources. We know how to manage resources very well. Look at the amount you give a man normally give his wife for cooking. He will manage to the extent that when you come back and say you want to go, say this is what I have. How did you manage to do this? You say, we are women. We manage human capital and resources of any type.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitments to tackling the energy challenges plaguing the Northeast region, ensuring that clean energy becomes accessible and affordable for all Nigerians. The assurance was contained in a statement by the spokesman for the Minister of State Petroleum Resources and Gas, Mr. Louis Iba. According to the statement, the Minister of State Petroleum Resources and Gas, Iperipe Eku, made the pledge during the launch of the Northeast Decade of Gas Clean Cooking (LPG) grassroots penetration program in Maiduguri, Borno State. EPO said the Decade of Gas initiative is designed to transform Nigeria into gas-powered economy, and the event demonstrates the government's commitment to ensuring no region is left behind. The minister acknowledged the significant energy challenges faced by the Northeast and expressed determination to make clean energy accessible and affordable. The gas minister, who led the distribution of LPG gas cylinders to beneficiaries, noted that adopting LPG goes beyond convenience, saying that it is crucial for cleaner air, reduced deforestation, and mitigating health risks for traditional fuels like charcoal and firewood. He said the switch to LPG supports the national strategy for a sustainable energy mix and reduced carbon emissions. The Federal Ministry of Youth Development has signed a memorandum of understanding with Flutterwave payment technology firm to empower youths and boost their business skills. According to a statement by the Minister for Youth Development, Ayodele Olawande, during the signing ceremony, the MOU between the partners will lead to the implementation of key initiatives that will provide young Nigerians with access to training, mentorship, and opportunities for small businesses and entrepreneurs. Olawande commended Flutterwave for its role in advancing youth-focused initiatives, emphasizing that the collaboration represents a critical step in fulfilling President Bola Tinubu's vision for youth empowerment by creating opportunities for them through training that ensures long-term economic impact. The minister reaffirmed that the collaboration with Flutterwave will significantly strengthen the ministry's efforts to ensure a brighter future for Nigerian youth, positioning them as key drivers of the nation's economic transformation. Osun State Amotekun Security Corps has published the list of successful candidates in its ranks. A release made available by the press secretary of the Corps, Comrade Lukman Botemi, said successful applicants emerged after a thorough and demanding recruitment process designed to evaluate their physical ability, mental aptitude, and readiness to shoulder the challenging responsibilities of the Corps. Comrade Botemi said the selected individuals will undergo a physical fitness test involving a 1-kilometer endurance run beginning at the Government Secretariat Second Gate and conclude at the Christian Pilgrim Welfare Board near the Center for Black Culture and International Understanding. Participants are required to attend the fitness screening dressed in white round-neck t-shirts, white shorts, and white sneakers as specified. Furthermore, all successful candidates are mandated to report to the NYSC orientation camp in Ede on Monday to mark the commencement of their formal induction and extensive training program. President Bola Tinubu has turned down a 942 billion naira proposal by the National Population Commission for the conduct of the National Housing and Population Census. The special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Mr. Bayo Ononuga, in a statement titled "Nigeria Moves Closer to Fresh Census, President Tinubu to Set Up Committee," revealed that after being briefed by officials of the NPC led by its chairman, Nasir Kwara, the President promised to set up a committee to align the census budget to the government's present financial realities. According to the statement, the President insisted on cost-cutting measures, but suggested the deployment of members of the National Youth Service Corps for the exercise. It noted that the President wanted the census to be conducted, but insisted that the cost must be reduced, as he affirmed that the National Identity Management Commission must be part of the review. The President added that government incentives such as the sale and distribution of fertilizers could be easily improved with more reliable data and demographics, adding that biometric capturing should be central to the process with multiple identification features including facial and voice recognition. Christians have been admonished to seek and focus on God during this year's Lenten season in order to receive more blessings from Him. The Osun State Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend John Adeleke, and Bishop Michael Adekeye gave the admonition after participating on OSBC Current Affairs program Saturday Morning Treats. The duo, who spoke on this year's Lenten period and its significance, noted that for refreshing period to come from God, Christians should repent and refrain from their sins, and they should always maintain a good relationship with their Maker to improve their spirituality.
States that is involved in this time should see that it has a very good relationship with God. We are born sinners, and sinners need to repent their sin. If you are observing fasting and yet you are a fornicator, an adulterer, a drunkard, or a thief, or you are one of the Yahoo boy plus, or you have involved yourself in drug, or all those things, please, the best thing is that repent from your sin, give your life to Jesus, then your fasting will be acceptable before God. Some people felt that, well, within the 40 days, they will have a good relationship with God, and after the 40 days, they go back into their former life. That will not help you at all. Start a relationship with God now and continue a relationship with Him until Christ comes. We should go beyond refrain from eating and drinking to focusing on our personal life. Before you go into fasting, abstaining from food, abstaining from water, the very first thing you should consider is, what is my standing with the Lord? Is this Jesus knows me? Do I have any relationship with Him? Am I born again? If you are not born again, you are not a Christian. So if you are not a Christian, you have no reason entertaining fasting and abstaining from water, except you want to pray for a God that you know. But if the purpose is that you are fasting because of this Easter period, it means you recognize that Jesus died, that Jesus resurrected, that Jesus is coming back to take the elect, and you are expecting Him to come and pick you one day. If that is the purpose, the very first thing to be considered is one's personal life. And as we are going into this, we should make sure that we maintain the life of holiness, not just for 40 days, but throughout our lifetime. It cannot be done carnally. It is only what can be done spiritually.
You are welcome to the sports segment. The Minister of Youth Development, Mr. Ayodele Olawande, has commended the resilience of Nigerian women, saying they are the beacons of hope in the country. Abdul Jalil Adebisi has more.
The minister and NSC chairman gave the commendation when they graced the 2025 edition of the FAME International Women's Day football tournament that took place in Abuja. The minister said women are critical to nations building, insisting that no society cannot exist without women. As such, the society cannot ignore them. He said Nigeria got its first Olympics gold medal through a woman, and Falcons have won a higher number of AFCON trophies than the Super Eagles in athletics, basketball, badminton, parasport, as female teams and athletes are bringing more glory and joy to the nation. The minister emphasized the importance of International Women's Day as 8 teams participated in the tournament to commemorate the event, and Team Fever are the champions, beating Team Fame 1-0 in final. Other one, they noted that the federal government is ready and willing to identify those organizing grassroots programs for the youth and women in particular toward achieving gender equality. Nigeria's Flamingos defeated South Africa 3-1 in Pretoria today in the first leg second round of the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup qualifier. Harmony Chidi bagged a brace while Shakira Moshood got one of the goals to put the Flamingo in a very good position to progress into the final qualifying round. Moshood opened the scoring in the 28th minute while Chidi doubled the lead on 41 minutes from the penalty spot. South Africa were awarded a penalty of their own which was scored by Kalego Malembana to make it 2-1 in the 47th minute. Bochidi for a second goal in the 68th minute to restore Flamingos 2-goal advantage. The Flamingo will host South Africa in the second leg inside the Rema Star Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State on the 15th this month. The winner between the Flamingo and South Africa will advance to the final qualifying stage where they will face either Botswana or Algeria. Meanwhile, 4 African teams will qualify for the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup billed for Morocco. The competition will take place from 17 October to 18 November this year. Abdul Jalil, DBC, Osbc News.
Moving on to the forest in the South Kivu province of the Democratic Republic of the Congo is grappling with a severe outbreak of monkeypox, a disease primarily transmitted through close skin-to-skin contacts. Again, Abdul Jalil at DBC reports.
The town of Kabari medical staff are struggling to meet the right demand for care with limited resources and constant disruptions. However, medical staff remain dedicated to providing critical support to those affected by the disease. The ongoing war has disrupted the region's healthcare infrastructure with an increasing number of patients fleeing conflict zones and contributing to the spread of mpox. A medical officer in Miti Mufesa, Dr. Sege Ziruko, highlighted the strain on the health system, saying the war in eastern part of the country has created a dire situation for both the population and the healthcare system. In response to the worsening epidemic, the Congolese government has launched a large-scale vaccination campaign to curb the spread of mpox as the campaign began in Kinshasa. Is aimed to vaccinate more than 600,000 people as part of efforts to contain the outbreak. Officials of the Australian Bureau of Meteorology have said tropical cyclone Alfred has weakened into a tropical low weather system, warning that the storm can still bring severe winds and flooding to the eastern coast of the country. The official further said that the cyclone has crossed the island of the coast of Queensland state overnight and is now heading towards the mainland. Bureau of Meteorology Manager Marty Kolopi said heavy to locally intense rainfall leading to flash and riverine flooding has become the major concern as the ex-tropical cyclone Alfred moves island. He explained that the cyclone has blacked out more than 250,000 homes and businesses while prompting evacuation orders for thousands of people, but no deaths have been reported so far, while authorities have urged residents to stay indoors. Brisbane Airport remains shut and the city has suspended public transport. More than 1,000 schools in southeast Queensland and 280 in northern New South Wales have been closed. Reports say it had been expected to become the first cyclone to cross the East Australian coast near the Queensland state capital of Brisbane since 1974. The Organization of Islamic Cooperation and several European nations have backed the recently unveiled Arab plan to Gaza following 15 months of Israel's devastating war on the besieged enclave. Germany, Italy and the United Kingdom said in a joint statement today that they supported a plan for the construction of Gaza at a cost of $53 billion. The statement said the plan shows a realistic path to the reconstruction of Gaza and promises, if implemented, swift and sustainable improvement of the catastrophic living conditions for the Palestinians living in Gaza. It added that Hamas must neither govern Gaza nor be a threat to Israel anymore, and that the four countries support the central role for the Palestinian Authority and the implementation of its reform agenda. Abdul Jalil, DBC, Osbc News.
And that ends the major reports on Osbc TV. It was edited by Abdul Jalil at DBC. I am Olubumi Ajiboye Agbola, wishing you a pleasant evening. Good night.